So Black women know the assignment. I don't even need to tell you what the assignment is, but in a nutshell, we know what we're not attending. We know what we're not showing up for. We know what we're not speaking out against. We know what we're not going to support. We know what we are going to support. We know what we're going to be vocal about. And we know when it's time to shut up right now. We know the assignment. Our level of unbotheredness is impressing me. It is. And I love that for us. But while we're being unbothered and while we're minding our own Black female business, I want to encourage you to stay diligent. There are things that we need to be doing as Black women to make sure that we are positioned and poised for optimal opportunity, that we're not caught off guard, that we're not waiting and depending on infrastructure, systems, and acknowledgement from organizations, the system, in the way that we have in the past. So today, I want to talk about 5 shifts that all Black women need to make so they are putting themselves in position of preparation. All right. Now, when I think about what I'm going to talk to you guys about and what needs to be shared, there are a lot of things going on that, quite frankly, I know we're tired of talking about. You know, I can sit here and talk about DEI initiatives being rolled back and eliminated and dismantled and how it can affect us Black women and what are we going to do about it. You know, my goal with this podcast has always been to share in a way to uplift and encourage each other to help us navigate the waters, right? So there are 5 shifts. You're silent. Your head is not on the mess. Your head is into what it wants to be into, but we do need to be doing some things while we're doing our homework, if you will. Before we get into it, I just want to welcome you if this is your first time joining us. My name is Erin Braxton, and this is the Coffee No Cream podcast. Here on Coffee No Cream, we are unapologetically dedicated to Black women, and we share what I like to call coffee no cream moments, those things that happen to us Black women in business and in life just because we are Black women. Before we get into the episode, please please share, please subscribe to the podcast. You guys have been amazing. For me, I'm just as grateful for you as many of you have expressed being grateful for this podcast. And I would love for you to share it, pass it along to anyone who might be interested. We have a Facebook community. The link is below or in the show notes if you're listening on Spotify. We also have a free educational resource tool where we have almost 2,000 free educational resources for you to level up, step up your game. And with that said, let's just get into the episode. So, five shifts that we need to make Black women. We're not doing nothing. We're just doing what we need to be doing for ourselves right now. And these 5 shifts that I'm going to talk about, part of that. All right. Shift number 1. You need to shift your mindset from tactical, task-oriented execution to value thinking when it comes to what it is you do for a living. A lot of us are very drilled into, I do this, this, and this. These are the things that I do. Because remember, I've talked about this. You're at work. This is the bubble. And your job and what you do is inside of the bubble. Mind you, that bubble, that job was created without you in mind. But because you've worked that job, because you have experience, you know more than just the tasks. What you bring to the table is more than just task, right? So You need to switch or shift into what value it is you bring. This is relevant whether or not you're going to get another job. This is relevant if you're going to go at it alone. But you need to know the value that you bring to anything that it is you're going to be doing, because the money lies in the value. Tasks are just tasks. The job was created to get tasks completed, not with you in mind, not with what you bring to the table. All right. A real good way to help you figure out the value of what it is you do is to use AI. I'm telling you, I talk to Claude, I talk to ChatGPT. And when I say talk to, I talk on my phone. So I have the app on my phone. I open the chat, I tap the mic, and I talk to it in plain language. You don't need to know like special prompts, special way to say it. Talk the way you talk and just keep talking to it to get what you need to get out of it. You know, people will tell you, well, I don't know how to ask it this. I don't know what to say. Just talk to it like you would talk to me, like you would talk to your friends, and talk about the tasks that you do at work. Ask it, say, I want to figure out the value I provide, as opposed to just telling somebody the tasks that I perform. Okay? Tell it, I just want to know the value I provide. So I'm going to give you what it is I do on my job every day. I'm going to give you the tasks. I'm going to give you my job description. I'm going to tell you what I do, what I perform, how I do it. And I want you to help me come up with some value that I bring to a job. Just use AI and you will be amazed. For me, I know that I can build a website. What, you need to sell something? You need to sell your products. You need to sell digital products, tangible products. Oh, you're selling your courses. Oh, you need a membership. You need this, you need that. I can do all of that. All right. But what I was able to do when I used AI to help me kind of expound and figure out what the true value is of what I was doing was determine that, no, Erin, you don't just do these tasks, but you're able to bring value. Why? Because you can save an organization money by eliminating bottlenecks. You can save an organization time. You can create more efficiency in an organization. You can marry and merge systems together to make processes more simple. Do you see what I'm saying? So tasks, value. All right. Use AI in this, guys. I'm telling you, it really works. All right. Next. Now this is coming off of a comment that somebody made a couple of weeks ago when I had Dr. Pam on the podcast and we were talking about LinkedIn. All right. The second shift is you're going to shift from silence to strategic visibility. Okay. Silence, you're shifting to strategic visibility. Now, we talked about LinkedIn. A lot of people are hesitant to get on LinkedIn because they feel like if they're more visible, their job is going to know they're looking for another position elsewhere, or they can't talk about what it is they want to do other than their job. Let me read a comment that we got, and I think a lot of you guys will probably relate to it. Someone writes, I would love to go on LinkedIn for my side hustle, but I do not want my current workplace to know what I am doing yet. I feel like I am cutting off a really helpful avenue. I get it. And strategically, one would be a little silly to go on to LinkedIn and tout another business or talk about something else they're working on when they still have another job. It just depends on the job that you have. You know, I know some people's jobs know what it is they're doing and they don't care, but you know where you work. So if this is for you, if this is your situation, this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to shy away from LinkedIn. You still need to utilize LinkedIn for everything it can do for you, but you don't necessarily need to talk about your private LLC page or some private business that you're trying to start. The goal of LinkedIn or putting yourself out there is to make contacts, is so people can become aware of who you are. So say you work for Acme Financial Services and you have a LinkedIn profile. There's nothing wrong with you going out there and talking about financial services, things that aren't confidential, things that you're okay to discuss, things that show the way you think, how you think, show your brilliance, show how you solve problems. There's nothing wrong with that. Hell, your company, Acme Financial Services, probably has a LinkedIn page. They're putting out articles, they're putting out news, they're putting out posts, and you're to do the same thing. Strategically, though, you're going to be talking about the company in which you work. Maybe not, maybe around the subject matter to show that you're an expert in your thinking. You make the contacts. You leave the company. You still have the contacts. The contacts don't go away just because you left. So yeah, maybe you're not making the exact contacts for your new business that you want to do. Or maybe you want to go at it alone and do the same sort of thing, but you just want to do it for somebody else, or you just want to do it for yourself. You're still making contacts. You don't lose those contacts just because you left that job. Be strategic about that thing. Okay? Be smart about it, but I would encourage you to utilize LinkedIn or whatever platform if you want to. You have to be careful on some of these social platforms because they're watching you. But if it's for business, just talk about what you're currently doing. Make connections, because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to leave your job or get laid off, let go, whatever, and you're just behind. You have no connections. You don't want to start when you need the connections. You want to start that now. You want to make that shift now. Silence, strategic visibility. Don't wait on that, okay? It's imperative, because there's nothing like needing work, needing to connect, needing a job, and you don't have any connections. You haven't been doing shit for the last, how many ever years you've had this job, and now you're out here in limbo because you haven't done anything. Start now. Make the shift. So we're working, we're quiet, but we've got shit to do. Okay? Next, you need to make the shift from forgetting, amnesia of everything that you've ever done, to documenting wins, to evidence. Have you ever been asked what it is you do, or been trying to work on your resume and you just have amnesia? Like, you can't remember shit that you've ever done. You just don't know because you didn't write it down, and you're trying to, string it all together. And then you're like, oh yeah. Oh, I did this thing. And oh, yeah. And I got this award, and right? Because you haven't documented it, and you're sitting there trying to reach for everything that you've ever done. It's frustrating. This is another AI exercise, if you will. And it's not just so you can put it on a resume, but it's so you can understand the amazingness of what it is you bring to the table. I pulled out Claude. I hit the microphone. I talked to him. I started explaining case studies of some of the very interesting, elaborate projects that I've worked on as a web person, as a developer, as a designer. What it gave me was like game changing. We can't see ourselves at work. These people, we've talked about this, they are not giving you the pats on the back, the props. They're not lifting you up. They're not giving you your flowers, your applause. They're not doing that. But when you put it into Claude and you're neutral and you're just talking about what it is you've done, the project that you led, everything that came of it, everything that went into it, when you get his response, you're going to be like, well, damn, I did do that. That's how I was when I did it. Hell, I even came up with a new title for myself. I'm not just a web girl. I'm not just a web developer, a web designer. I'm a digital, solutions expert, a digital systems architect, given day, depends on what I am. But it really helped me see the brilliance of some of the work that I had done, that I was just like pushing down, that I had pushed to the side, that I had discounted. Because when people aren't giving you accolades and recognizing you and propping you up, you don't even realize what you do. A lot of times they do that to get in your head, to fuck with you, to make it seem like, it's no big deal, whatever. They do that shit on purpose. So doing this with Claude or chat to help you really get a grasp on the wins and the accomplishments and what you were able to achieve is really good for your ego and your spirit, and will help you be a better self-promoter, which is something I've talked about struggling with, right? You need to be able to talk about yourself in a way that is unlike anybody else. If you're not going to talk great shit about yourself, who's going to talk it? Right? So do that exercise, talk to it. And again, talk to it just like you would talk to a friend. Be like, this is what we did. This is the assignment. This is what they asked me. And, all the little things, everything you can remember, do that every time you have a project so that you can really start to define and articulate what it is you bring to the table. Again, similar to number one, identifying your value, the results that you can bring, the transformation. Because again, the value, and I didn't say this earlier, the money is in the value, not in the tasks. I'll repeat that. The money is in the value. So if you're out here trying to sell a service, you're not always going to charge by hour. You're not always going to charge by tasks. You're going to charge by the value that you bring. And the more valuable that you are, the more money you can command for what it is that you do. All right. So figure out your value, figure out the amazingness, keep score, keep tally. This is the time in life where you need to keep track and score of everything that you do. The shift of forgetting and a state of amnesia into transformation, into what it is that you really did. Okay. Now the next one is really difficult for people, especially people who are wanting to go at it alone. This is the shift of going from that single income dependence, that paycheck mentality, to economic awareness, to financial opportunity. All right. And this isn't about, I'm just going to shift myself into an entrepreneur, or I'm going to automatically go out and charge money for things. But it's very hard to go from a person who collects a paycheck and that's how they get their money and that's what they depend on, to not knowing how you're going to get your money if you end up out of a job. All right. And I want to kind of give you some structure and some tools around it, because you hear people say the same kind of things all the time. But I want you to shift your thinking into starting to see the opportunities that are in front of you. Now, Yes, everybody's going to say, what do you do? What do people come to you for? What service can you provide? And you've done some of these exercises already with shift 1 and 3, like figuring out your value, figuring out the transformations that you can give and all of that. Okay. So when you're talking about how to monetize or look at opportunities as money-making opportunities, because everybody's out here talking about it, whatever it is they sell, whatever they do to make money on the internet, all of the things. Sometimes it's hard to like roll that back and do that for yourself because it's so clear to see it for everybody else, but it's hard to see it for yourself. I'm living proof, okay? I still struggle with this one, okay? But I'll give you an example. I had done some work for somebody. I had done a website for them. I really didn't even do the full website. They had been dealing with a contractor, and this is somebody I know, a newer friend, and they could not get it done. They were tired of the language barrier, the delays, all the things that they were trying to get done. It just wasn't happening. So I just came in and finished it for her. And the way that I approached the project with detail and authority and expertise in what I did, she knew I was about my business. So we're on the phone the other day and we're talking about her website, her company's website. And she said her company's website, these are her words, looked like shit and it was terrible and it just really needed some work. But she went on to say that this company was working, they use ADT. We all know what ADT is. It's like the logo that you see on your paychecks when you get a paycheck from your employer. And they use ADT. That's the only software system that they're committed to. Everything was a mess. Employees didn't have ways to connect with other people within the organization. They had no intranet. They just had no system. I'm like, ding, ding, ding. I was like, girl, you know that's my jam. You know that's what I do. And, we talked about it lightly. She's already brought it to her superiors, and we're trying to set up a discovery, a meeting, because I saw the opportunity when she was talking, and I used that opportunity to talk to her more about it. And that's the simplicity of what it is that you can do when you're talking about whatever it is you have to offer. This can happen if somebody's talking about positions at the company that they work at, and maybe you want another position. This can happen if somebody's talking about some work they need to be done. They might say something. Don't shrink back from that. Use it as an opportunity to tell somebody what you can do. Again, self-promotion has not always been my strong suit, but I'm telling you, being able to talk about what it is you do, you need to shift your mindset from paycheck mentality to economic awareness, to understanding there's opportunities like all around you that you can take advantage of. Let people know what you're doing. Don't be so secretive about it. I mean, be careful, if you're working a job or you still are employed by somebody, but it's real hard to go from employee to employer or entrepreneur mindset. But if you seize little opportunities or you see opportunities just by having casual conversations with people, this really helps, give you practice on how to talk about what it is you do. You start to become more comfortable in discussing what it is you can offer, the service that you can provide. It's not such a pressure situation. You're not just going in there and trying to present, this is what I do, or this is a product that I offer. So start to look at opportunities. I used to give opportunities away. People would say they needed something, and I would be like, oh, let me think of who could do that. And I could do it. When I was starting my business with my one of my clients, they needed some voiceover work. And they needed to voice an entire, 12-hour e-course. And I'm like, okay, I was helping them because I was building the e-course on the website and all this kind of stuff. And I'm helping them research because they don't know how to research it. We're looking for voice artists, and it was expensive. This was several years ago, but we're looking at, $20,000, $25,000 to do all of this work, to record, edit the voice, to get clean audio, to read, 12 plus hours of curriculum. And finally, I said, well, I used to be on NPR radio in college for 4 years. I can do this for you. And it was something that I had always wanted to do. And it was literally that simple. So you know what I did? I I bought a microphone. Actually, this microphone back here. I don't know if you see it, my Blue Yeti. You can see it. There you go. I bought my Blue Yeti microphone. I bought foam. I was in this little apartment in LA. I bought, the foam to go on the walls. I used a spray adhesive. I foamed up the little coat closet. I put a shelf in there that I think I got it from, I don't know. I don't think it was from IKEA, but I put a shelf in there, and I had these little countertop like chairs that I used to sit at my desk at. And I cleaned that closet out. I scooted everything in there. I put a shelf in there for my computer, and my microphone was in there, and I recorded that e-course for them. I recorded audio for them. I took advantage of the opportunity because I just wasted time helping them find talent, and I ended up being able to do it and make a pretty good amount of money doing it for them. So you have to be able to seize opportunities and start with people that know you, and that will give you that opportunity. Don't think, oh, I'm going to go to, Coca-Cola and present my idea, or, whatever it is. Start small. Start with people who already recognize that you're good. You could do it. They see something in you. They know you. It just makes it a lot easier to broach the subject. Okay. I say all that. I've got one more shift. Shift number 5. Now, shift number 5 is the one we all love. Okay. Shift number 5 is shifting from isolation mode into relational leverage, also known as networking. Now, I know networking is not at the top of anybody's list. I mean, some people love it, just like some people love sales. Most of us don't love networking because we see it as a chore. We see it as awkward. I talked to Elaine and Rhonda about that last week when we were talking about networking. And, networking doesn't have to be what you think it is. But let me tell you something. When you build your network, when the change comes, when whatever is coming comes, and your network is solid, most of the time, all opportunities are coming from people that you know, that are in your network. I can't say it enough. Most of the time, especially for solopreneurs, smaller entrepreneurs, the work that we receive and the opportunities that are presented to us are coming from people that we know. All right. Networking doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go to this big networking event, or I'm going to try to go to these networking happy hours. It doesn't have to be like that. You can be doing your LinkedIn thing. You can say, hey, let's meet up for coffee. You can tap into your friends, to people they know, and say, hey, would you want to do lunch? And you don't have to do it all the time. You could do it like twice a month. I'm starting to actually track who I meet and when. This month, in the last month, I've gone to one lunch. I've gone to a breakfast. I've gone to a soccer game, a professional soccer game. I've never been to a soccer game, but I knew it would be, a fun thing to do, a cool thing to do. But this is all from me networking. And what networking does for you is it puts your name in rooms that you didn't even set foot in. Okay. I told you guys about an opportunity a few weeks ago where, I think it was last week, when I had reconnected with somebody. They knew I do web environments. They contacted me about doing a university website. I don't think that project is going to work out. Regardless of that, my name was in the room. I wasn't in the room. Why? Because I have been networking, because I have been meeting with people. I have been trying to stop working and being so isolated and come out of my home office, come out of my own bubble that I'm in, because I will get holed up in my house and just heads down, work, 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 and see people, see daylight, have social time. Networking can be really fun. I met a woman that somebody I know networked me with, introduced me to. This woman, we had a great time. Like, we immediately clicked. And I'd be damned if yesterday I was looking for an attorney in a specialty, and she has sent me 2 resources, right? So you just don't know where the networking will take you. You can go on walks with people. You can go to sporting events. I have a whole running list of restaurants that I want to try in St. Louis. I'm like, okay, the next time somebody comes into town, or the next time somebody asks me where we should go, I get my list out. I have breakfast with somebody next week that I met at a Christmas event back in December. Just getting together. I don't know where it's going to take us. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I'm excited because she seemed cool. We're going to go have some breakfast, chit chat, and then I'm going to go to work. So again, you guys, we're doing what we know we need to do right now. We know the assignment, and we know what we're not doing. We know what we're not falling for. We know that we're not getting guilted into right now. Let me just say that. But it doesn't mean that we don't have work to do, work that we need to be doing with ourselves right now. So just to repeat, 5 shifts. Shift number 1 is we're shifting from tactical, task-oriented execution way of thinking about what it is we bring to the table, and we're shifting it into value thinking. What value do we bring to the table? Shift number 2, we're going from fearful silence to strategic visibility. You can be over there on LinkedIn. You can let people know you're out here strategically. Play the game. Get yourself out there. Don't wait, because you want those connections and contacts now. You don't want to wait until you need them and you're desperate, okay? Shift number 3, we're going from forgetful amnesia of what it is we do, what it is we've done, to evidence, to documenting our wins. There's nothing like trying to pull a resume together when you're stressed out, trying to reach back and remember what it is you did. And still, even right now, you have an opportunity with that, I didn't mention, to talk to people that you work with it on, get the full scope, the picture, maybe even grab some collateral or some artwork or some resources attached to those wins that you might not be able to get to should something happen, okay? Number 4, this is a difficult one. This is the money shift, where you're going from that paycheck mentality, that single income of a check, into financial awareness, into peeping opportunities that are out there, having your eyes peeled and open and seizing those opportunities, not in an intimidating way, but more of a, let me just let my friends know. Let me let people know. Let me just slide into the conversation that this is what I do. Okay? This is going to give you, I think, a financial win sooner than if you try to go to somebody cold. Okay? So test it out. Get used to peeping opportunities that you can make money. whether it be on the side, whether it be for a consulting gig, whether it be for your own thing. All right. And finally, we're going to go from isolation into what? Networking. Yay. No, networking can be fun. Get out there, meet with people, talk to people. It's been real fun. And I've had to do this a lot in the last 5 years because I moved back from California. So I'm having to build my network here. I'm having to establish myself as a business owner here and become known. I didn't even do that in California. I was very holed up in my apartment, just in hustle mode, trying to survive. But building a network here is just been really lovely. And I feel like, cool people will tap you into cool people, right? So make sure you're having coffees, lunches, going on walks, maybe going to events. Make it fun. Make it something that you would look forward to. Don't go to networking events or big happy hours if that's not your jam. Don't do it. Do it your way, but do it, okay? There's nothing like a good network when you need it. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I've given you, I feel like, some good information, some good things to work on, whether you're trying to do your own thing, whether you're trying to go get another job. It doesn't matter. We're shifting into preparation. We're not reacting to all of the things going on around us. We're not getting distracted, but we're not doing anything. We need to take this time, as we know, to work on ourselves, to do the things that we do, to build ourselves up, to strengthen ourselves up, to prepare for whatever they throw at us, because something's coming. I don't know what, I don't know when, but there's nothing like being prepared for the test. All right, guys. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope this was super helpful. Please leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Tell me what other shifts you're shifting into. I want to know, like, what are the things that you're doing right now while maybe you're being more still, or you're, you're just taking time for yourself. How are you preparing for what's coming? How are you getting yourself ready for this crazy United States of America, or maybe not in America? Let me know in the comments. I love to connect with you guys in the comments. And I think that's it. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.